Hey, what's up? It's Privacy J. Time to continue my new MacBook Pro update. So, here's gonna be the bad news about this MacBook Pro, the M5 and M6. It may not after all next year, for this year and next year. So, let's start off with the M5 MacBook Pro. The M5 MacBook Pro will be no longer coming this year in 2025. So Apple does not plan to refresh any Macs with updated M5 chips in 2025, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. The updated MacBook Air and MacBook Pro models are now planned for the first half of 2026. Gurman previously said that Apple would be debuted the M5 MacBook Pro models in late 2025, but his news report suggests that Apple is considering pushing them back next year to 2026. Apple is now said to be internally targeting a launch early next year. The current M4, M4 Pro, and M4 Max MacBook Pro models, Max MacBook Pro models were announced in October 2024 last year and released in November last year, 2024. So pushing the M5 models back to 2026 next year would like that you will see Apple skipping a yearly refresh. It is typical for new Macs to come out in October or November after the September iPhone event. Gurman does not give a reason why Apple is potentially delaying the launch of the M5 MacBook Pro models, but he says the timing is fluid. So there may still be a chance that we get the new Macs before the end of the year. The M5 MacBook Pro models will have few changes beyond the M5 chip update, because Apple is planning for bigger changes in for the M6 MacBook Pro. The next MacBook Pro models are expected to transition to OLED displays and a new case design. Rumors have suggested the OLED MacBook Pro will come in 2026, but if Apple is planning to launch the M5 MacBook Pro models in 2026, that means the OLED will be pushed to 2027, which is 2 years. Alternatively, Apple could debut the M5 MacBook Pro in early next year, 2026, and the OLED version in late 2026. But that will be unusual. Apple is also planning to release release M5 MacBook Air models in next year in 2026, which will replace the current M4 models. Other rumors suggest Apple is working on a MacBook that has the 18 Pro chip in it for 2026, but Gurman didn't mention it. The M5 MacBook Pro and MacBook Air models could be accompanied by a new display that Apple has in the works. Apple is developing an external monitor that is expected to be a follow-up to the 2022 Studio display, which was released in 3 years ago. It is expected to launch in early 2026. So, last one. The OLED MacBook Pro M6 may not launch next year after all. Apple in October 2024 overhauled its 14, 16-inch MacBook Pro models, adding the M4, M4 Pro, and M4 Max chips. Thunderbolt 5 ports on higher-end models, display changes, and more. That's quite a lot of updates in one go. But there's another major refresh coming to the MacBook Pro, although when it will arrive has now been thrown into doubt. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple is rethinking its original plan to refresh the MacBook Pro lineup with M5 chips later this year. Instead, the refreshed models are now expected to arrive in the first half of next year, 2026. Gurman previously suggested that a more substantial redesign or true overhaul was scheduled for 2026 next year. But now that the M5 refresh itself appears to be delayed until 2026, the chances of a major redesign landing in the same year seem less likely. Gurman has so far kept quiet on the whether the redesign timeline has shifted as well. To recap, here are the biggest changes rumored to be coming to the overhauled MacBook Pro following the M5 refresh early next year. OLED goodbye mini LED. Several rumors have indicated that Apple is developing MacBook Pro models with OLED display. Research firm Omdia in May 2024 claimed Apple is highly likely to introduce new MacBook Pros featuring OLED displays next year, while display analyst Ross Young in September 2024 said that Apple's supply chain is expected to have sufficient notebook optimized OLED display production capacity in 2026 to bring the technology to MacBook Pro. Compared to the current MacBook Pro models that use mini LED screens, the benefits of OLED technology would include increased brightness, higher contrast radio with deeper blocks, the radio, right? Improve power efficiency for longer battery life and more. Thinner, lighter laptop. The major redesign. The switch to OLED display could allow future MacBook Pro models to have a thinner design, and rumors suggest that is indeed what Apple intends. When the M4 iPad Pro was unveiled in May 2024, Apple touted it as the company's thinnest product ever. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman subsequently called the iPad Pro the beginning of a new class of Apple devices and said Apple was working to make the MacBook Pro thinner over the next couple of years. Apple is reportedly focusing on delivering the thinnest possible device without compromising on the battery life on major new features. Notably, the MacBook Pro got thicker and heavier with its most recent redesign in 2021. A major highlight was the reintroduction of several ports that were removed in previous iterations in favor of cases thinness. How Apple will make its redesigned MacBook Pro thinner without removing the functionality it reintroduced fairly recently is the big question. Hole punch hole camera, no more notch. If you are fed up of the notch intruding on your Mac display, here's some good news. Apple plans to remove the notch from the redesigned MacBook Pro, according to a roadmap shared by research firm Omdia. The roadmap indicates that redesigned 14, 16-inch MacBook Pro models will have a hole punch camera at the top of the display, rather than the notch we've become accustomed to. A MacBook Pro without a notch would offer additional visible pixel on the screen, creating a more uninterrupted and cohesive display. 5G modem, cellular connectivity. In 2025, Apple introduced the C1 modem, its custom-built 5G chip that it's had in the works for years now. The modem chip features the iPhone 16e and is said to be coming in the iPhone 17 Air, giving Apple an opportunity to test the technology before rolling it out to flagship device. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple will then consider bringing the cellular connectivity to the Mac lineup for the first time. The company is said to be investigating the possibility of adding a second generation C2 modem chip. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Let me check the chat. I'm not sure who that user is, so maybe. All right, back to Warrior. Um, so what I'm saying, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple will then consider bringing the cellular connectivity to the Mac lineup for the first time. The company is said to be investigating the possibility of adding a second generation C2 modem chip to a future Mac as soon as 2026, teasing the potential for a cellular MacBook Pro in the same year. The C1 modem chip is limited to sub 6 gigahertz 5G speeds, but the second generation version will support faster wave technology, according to Gurman. The M6 series chip, 2 nm process. Before the MacBook Pro major redesign, Apple plans to update the lineup with the M5 series chips. The chips will be manufactured with TSMC's third generation 3 nm process, known as N3P, resulting in typical year-over-year performance and power efficiency improvements compared to the M4 series of chips. M6 chips, on the other hand, could adopt a completely new packaging process for Apple's overhauled MacBook Pro models. And according to one rumor, Apple's A20 chip in next year's iPhone 18 models will switch from the previous info integrated fan out packaging to WMCM water level multi chip model packaging. WMCM integrates multi chips within the same package, allowing for the development of more complex chipset components such as the CPU, GPUs, DRAM, and neural engine would therefore be more tightly integrated. While we don't know for sure, this could see Apple develop the M6 using the 2 nm process while taking advantage of WMCM packaging to make even more powerful versions of its custom processor. So, anyways, that's gonna be it for today's update about the two MacBook Pros. Bad news about it. So keep in mind for that and stay tuned for the next one. So like and comment and subscribe and let me know about it. So if you're gonna subscribe to my 3 channels, the Privacy J Productions 1, 2, and 3, and my content, all of my social medias, watching all about it. Facebook, my name is Jaden Garcia. Instagram is JTech727. Snapchat is Good 077. Follow me on X Privacy J NYC1. So thanks for watching and peace out.